Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to get started with this webinar in just a few minutes. People are still logging on. Thanks for your patience. Okay, let's get started. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tom Berger, Vice President of Financial Services here at AKA Enterprise Solutions. Today, we're going to be talking about how financial advisors can compete with robo-advisors and make a big difference in their book of business. But before we begin, I want to go over a few housekeeping items. If you would like to ask a question during today's presentation, submit them through the Questions tab in the GoToWebinar control panel. It'll be on your screen. We will answer as many questions as time permits at the end of today's presentation. Before we begin, however, let me give you a little bit of an introduction into who AKA Enterprise Solutions is. We are a financial services focused cloud consultancy. And what does that mean? We work in asset management, in insurance, in brokerage, capital markets, and banking, helping our clients achieve greater results. We're a Microsoft Gold Certified Cloud Partner, Microsoft Gold Certified CRM Partner, and Microsoft Gold Certified ERP Partner. We've been in business for over 25 years, and we are 100% Microsoft focused. Today's presenter is my good friend and colleague, Bradley Monet. Brad is a Senior Financial Services Solution Architect here at the firm. He's been working in the business for over a decade, and he came out of working at a broker-dealer. His experience has been in a lot of asset and wealth management, and he brings that to bear today in talking about how to compete against robo-advisors. Brad?
Thanks, Tom, for the nice introduction. I appreciate it. I'm here today to talk to you about the growing influence of robo-advisors and their impact to traditional financial advisors. Today, we will, one, discuss the robo-advisor landscape and how it affects advisors and investors in today's world. Second, we'll talk about opportunities to compete against these firms with robo-advisor platforms. And finally, we'll discuss emerging technologies that will empower advisors to better manage their book of business and to also at the same time create a richer client experience. The truth is that robo-advisors are not going away. And despite a recent downturn and relative stagnation in growth in 2016, robos are here to stay and could continue to capture market share. And this continues to be an ongoing threat to traditional financial advisors. Compounding this issue is that robo-advisors are not just portfolio allocation tools anymore. They're constantly introducing new features such as financial planning and tax-related services to complement their product. Feature-rich applications and low fee structures put pressure on traditional advisors to justify their fees despite the fact that advisors offer a higher level of service. Many advisors simply do not have the tools to compete with these platforms from a digital perspective. Before we get into anything else, let's take a brief look at a recent survey of actual end clients discussing their usage of online brokerage tools and hybrids. And this is from a 2016 Connected Advisor report. The graphs we are viewing break down by country how investors are managing their current investments and their level of interaction with an advisor versus the way that they would ideally like that. And then this is broken out by investors doing it completely on their own, somewhat of a collaborative process, or it's completely delegated. The left-hand side being what is currently happening today, current state, and right-hand side, what they would ideally like. And interestingly, one fact that I pulled from this graph that I really stuck out to me is that in the U.S., 30% of registrants have a collaborative process with their advisors, but yet 63% of the registrants or people who responded to the survey would like to have a collaborative process with their advisor. And this presents a really interesting point. This is a great opportunity for advisors to create a digital interactive experience for their clients. Coupled with white glove service, this can give you a competitive advantage that a Robo-Advisor cannot match. Let me share another quotation from this survey. When citing key factors in choosing a financial advisor, many investors report technology-based reasons, such as the ability to get a holistic view of their accounts, which was 76% of the responders, and modern tools for financial planning, 67%. Yet despite this desire to use technology management in their financial accounts, only 11% of investors across all 6 countries use a digital advice platform, i.e. a robo-advisor, to manage all or a portion of their investments. Again, this is a very odd stat because we see here that there are people taking advantage of a robo-advisor platform, but yet they're really not using it in an active and meaningful way. So again, this creates a unique opportunity for advisors before it's too late by creating a digital experience for their clients and improving the client experience. They have a real shot at competing with robo-advisors. So what I'm advocating is that we don't try to play the same game as a robo-advisor. Instead, I'm advocating that we need to change the rules of the game. And let's look at ways that robos can add value to their already existing relationship and how they can build that over time. Okay. First, let's talk about what needs to happen. What is of value for an advisor? Okay, and it all comes down to information. How do we compete with a robo? Well, first we need to accept that you need to gather and organize your information in a meaningful way. Then you need to deliver it to clients at the right time, to the right clients that fit this type of digital approach. Next, you need to also focus on empowering your clients by giving them access to it when and how they want to consume it. With this in mind, we want to focus on solutions that, 1, enhance client experience, 2, making it digital, and 3, improving advisor efficiency. So how do we do that? The key is to differentiate yourself from robo-advisors and show them that your services that you provide warrant your fees. And the big thing here to drive home that is important is that robo-advisors cannot do what a real advisor does, provide a human touch to a complex investment management landscape. So we need to provide them with tools to be more efficient and provide a higher quality of service. And we can leverage technology to do so. Now let's talk about how, with technology, we can better equip advisors to compete with robos. Today, we'll be focusing on 6 solutions and technologies that will help deliver on these 3 key principles. All the technologies that we'll be discussing today are centered around a product called Dynamics 365, made by Microsoft. It's an enterprise CRM application. There are some excellent tools authored by Microsoft, but the ways that we implement these technologies and solutions and the concepts that come with them can be applied to many technology platforms. But for the sake of this conversation, we'll just be speaking about Microsoft stack of solutions. First, let's take a look at how we can improve our client relationships and interactions. Okay, the first feature that I would like to discuss with you is a tool called Relationship Insights. And what Relationship Insights does is it's a large data aggregator of over 200 data sources from the web, including social media, LinkedIn, Bing, Facebook, Microsoft news sites, and other sources to give you a holistic view of your client. This KYC, or Know Your Client on steroids, by seeing their interests, hobbies, recent activities, can empower your advisors to have a great way to break the ice with new clients and have meaningful conversations with existing ones. With millennials in particular, or social media aficionados, millennials love sharing their lives on social media and enjoy sharing that content and talking about it with others. By having this information at your fingertips, this really allows advisors to have a deeper, more meaningful conversation. Let's look at some quick examples and features of Relationship Insights. Okay. First, what we'll be looking at is the ability to see for a particular company all the news that is going on with them. Next is the key contacts here in the middle of our screen, and then we have Buzz, which is again our social media feed. This could be Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of the main social media platforms that people prescribe to and use and post to on an active and daily basis. Again, by seeing all this information, from a contacts perspective, it's a really great way for you to reach out and network and build out your potential book of business, because now you're finding potential relationships to other individuals inside of this person's social network. Okay. Next, we're going to be showing the ability to do research. In this next tab we're looking at, we can quickly and easily see information about the company in general, again, on more additional news, and then similar companies that are related to it. Again, we can show the relationships and connections with people that are outside of our core CRM, and this is more than what was in a traditional CRM. Typically, you'd have a few fields of information to be able to populate to better understand who your client is and some of the key attributes about them. But this really just drives home the ability to really get to understand them, especially when you have a large book of business and you have to flip between many phone calls. So why does this all matter? Again, deeper conversations with your clients provide a greater level of value, and the know your client aspect really creates a greater connection. Another key benefit to this, as we've shown this to customers and deployed it, is the realization of how much time is saved from using this feature. Decrease in research and prep time before heading to a client meeting is a really great value to advisors. We recently had a client who was in financial services doing mergers and acquisitions say that their prep time for a single client meeting took almost a half of the day. With this tool, they're expecting it to be less than an hour. Now, I know that a mergers and acquisitions company is not in the wealth management space, but again, to understand that the ability to have a deeper and more meaningful conversation really drives home a better client experience. Relationship Insights isn't the only way to improve client experience. Let's look at another tool called Relationship Assistant. Another area where we can improve overall client experience is by improving our advisor efficiency. Advisors waste a lot of their time trying to decide what their next best action is, and even if it is a guided process with a call list or a daily to-do task list, they're still not given the best choices necessarily of who they should call from a Pareto 80-20 principle. But with Relationship Assistant, what it is doing is that it's going out and using Microsoft's Azure machine learning and parsing through your entire CRM data set and looking at all the different key attributes, due dates, how long an activity has been open, the overall AUM of a particular customer, and looking at all of that information in an aggregative way and giving suggestions on actions for a particular advisor to take. Again, this is taking task management to a new level and really just taking the guesswork out of an advisor's hands and putting it inside of a machine learning that will learn over time and provide better recommendations based on the feedback that an advisor is giving. Again, many of our current clients in asset and wealth management are beginning to adopt these tools as they're seeing the amazing ROI with limited configuration to be able to deploy this inside of their CRM solutions. Okay, let's take a look and see how this surfaces inside of an application. This can be put on any area of your CRM system, whether it be a dashboard, a form, inside a list or a view. This little pane here in the middle that we're looking at is our Relationship Insights or Assistant, and over here to our right is Relationship Insights. So again, you can see all of these tools are not built outside of an application, so an advisor has to click away. It's right front and center for them as they're working on an opportunity. They're given recommended actions for that particular record. And again, it can be surfaced on a dashboard as well or other areas of the system. To the next screen. The next area of the CRM that I wanted to talk about was machine learning. And machine learning was how Relationship Assistant is powered. But sometimes that isn't enough. A little tidbit before we talk a little bit about machine learning is from the report that we were looking at earlier in the presentation. And the following is that I would like to see financial advisors be more proactive in reaching out to me with recommended changes to my portfolio in the event of a downturn. So this is an event where clients are saying that they are looking for more proactive communication. Again, an advisor's workload is very hectic, and for them to stay on top of their book of business requires them to take a lot of extra time out of their day to be able to successfully execute on this. With machine learning, we can have machine learning look at all the information, market changes, the disposition of the client, the overall health of the relationship, and then provide recommended actions to advisors. Two use cases that we're currently working on across AKA is one to apply machine learning for prospecting. This is across multiple industries because, as we all know, sales is king, and the ability to bring on new clients really drives business and growth. So this tool we're looking at is looking at the best way for advisors or for any salesperson to be able to understand the next best person to call based on a set of attributes that machine learning is constantly analyzing and improving upon based on the results of those sales. Additionally, we are building out IPs very similar to this for current clients as well to do proactive calling. But again, this tool is something that is being used by large companies, machine learning, throughout the industry. But now it's becoming commercially available to small and medium-sized businesses, again, because the interfaces are much more simpler to use. We're not looking at custom code. These are quick turnaround solutions that can be applied to a CRM application and provide real value in a quick way. Again, to reiterate this, again, these tools enable you to have, again, a more productive conversation with your client because you're not spending all this time planning. Another feature that I would like to talk about is a feature called guided processes or process bar. A common ask of many of my clients that I personally engage with is that they want to deliver a CRM application to advisors or to asset managers in a way that is easy and intuitive for them to use. The typical ask of me is the following from an advisor. I want to see the information on the screen that I need to see right now. Back office employees tend to want as much information on the screen as possible, whereas advisors want to see limited information on their screen. And this is where business process bars come in. Based on the stage of, let's say, a sales opportunity or an onboarding process, we can display or show information based on where we are in that process. Let me give you an example. Let's say there is a client that's prospecting that is onboarding. While collecting OFAC information is important when onboarding a client, it's not necessarily pertinent while you're in the beginning stages of that client life cycle. Doing the prospecting, but further on as you're beginning an onboarding and new account opening process, that information is incredibly important for due diligence. So with guided processes, you can do the following. Create a simplified UI that shows information to advisors and back office employees when it is pertinent. And it gives advisors a guided way of understanding what they need to do next in terms of prospecting and then onboarding. It gives a consistent experience for clients that can slowly be improved upon as you are working and continuing to improve upon this process because you have everyone acting in the same manner during their onboarding process. It reduces advisors' training time, which is a really great added benefit to this. By using tools that, again, are intuitive and show them what they need to do next instead of having them hunt and peck around for what information they need to populate, it really makes training and adoption of the system much, much higher. And another added benefit, again, for back office employees, more than it is for the advisor, it's just a carrot, if you will, is you get better information capture. And as we know, dirty data makes it really hard to report and to get an effective view on your overall business's health. Okay, and here again is a screenshot of an opportunity with a guided process here at the top, and our relationship assistant and insights. Again, all this information readily available for advisors so they don't have to hunt and peck around for what they need to do next. Okay. One other feature I would like to talk about is mobile. All the features that I just showed can be put inside of a mobile device. Relationship insights, relationship assistant, guided processes, all can be embedded within a simplified UI screen inside of a mobile application. CRM offers a mobile app that is both for Apple and Android devices. It's very easy to install, and all the customizations and all the screens and everything replicate onto this screen and make it really easy for an advisor to be able to work on the go. And as we know, advisors are often moving around to different locations, meeting clients, prospecting, and they're not always in front of a computer. So again, this really empowers them to be more effective and capture meaningful information while they're on the go. I'd like to switch gears a little bit. What we were talking about before was really centered around making an advisor more efficient. And what we want to do also, as we were talking about, is advisor efficiency, but also creating a better experience for an end client from a digital perspective. And the next feature I would like to talk about is client-facing portals. People want information now. Calling your advisors to get basic account information frustrates clients, especially with millennials who have a short attention span. And additionally, viewing stale information via paper statement creates a distant and an uninformed client. I mean, this is where robos differentiate themselves by giving the client the ability to be able to see their statements and their information in an interactive way creates a very informed client. Additionally, simple requests such as a change of address, a withdrawal, or requesting tax information should be easy and shouldn't require a phone call or filling out paperwork by hand. Exchange of documents should not take weeks, it instead should take minutes. Clients want to know their portfolios are what they're doing in real time and not based on snapshots in time. And what clients are asking for is to have more of a Dropbox interactive experience with their advisor. And so by enabling clients to be able to interact with their accounts, positions, and statements, you create a richer client experience and up the level of conversation that you're having with your client, all while reducing administrative overhead as you're streamlining client processes by capturing information in a structured way, reducing the overall burden of your back office and front office employees. Technology can provide a richer client experience, but again, at the end of the day, it really does come to the advisor being able to interact with them, being able to share the same information and content in a meaningful way. We've talked about how using portals as a means to create a digital experience for a client improves the overall client relationship, but it's not just about a website or a formal portal. It's also about mobile. So let's talk about another tool called Power Apps. Traditionally, creating a client portal or a mobile application was very cost prohibitive to businesses of all sizes. This was enterprise, small businesses, and medium-sized businesses. The tools and development platforms really weren't there for developers to be able to build a system that could quickly react to client needs. This is where a tool called Power Apps comes in. Power Apps allows us to create lightweight apps and give a client another way to interact with their advisor and their investments. Showing simple things like current performance, year-to-date contributions, status of requests reduces an advisor's workload and allows clients to have access to their portfolios in real time, anytime, anywhere. Millennials are traditionally mobile users. In fact, they use mobile devices now more than regular traditional PCs. So again, from an engagement standpoint, having this information in a mobile context is a way to reach a new generation of investors and clients. Again, to reiterate my point, quick deployment, lower investment, leading to a great ROI, and again, a better client experience. All of these features we've shown today is all about gathering, aggregating, and displaying information in a meaningful way. As data sets and sources become exponentially larger, we also need to think of tools that help make sense of all of it. And that's where this final feature that I'd like to show you is called Power BI. Power BI is an enterprise reporting tool that surfaces throughout Dynamics 365, the CRM tool used by internal advisors, client-facing portals, mobile applications built on Power Apps, the tool we use to build mobile applications. And all these Power BI reports can be surfaced in all these different places. So reports that an advisor is looking at can be surfaced to a client in both a mobile and a portal standpoint. Creating these interactive experiences where everyone's working from common information and data really improves your overall client experience. Internal Power BI can be used to help advisors better understand their book of business, performance of their clients' portfolios, and gain insights to their client prospecting and other operational perspective. From a client standpoint, working with a common data set allows them, again, to collaboratively work with their advisor and get a better and deeper understanding. And having those deeper understandings, one, builds trust with the advisor, and then also gets a client building trust and working towards a common investment goal. And again, this is something that a Robo-Advisor frankly cannot offer. A traditional advisor being able to guide someone through a digital tool and then have a deeper level conversation is the true competitive edge to which we are speaking to today. And we'll do one quick look at a couple other reports here. And I would like to open it up for questions to the group. Actually, before I do that, I almost ruined it. I forgot my conclusion. How dare I? I apologize, everyone. Let me wrap this up. Excuse me. At the end of the day, clients get what they pay for, and by no means are we advocating for a reduced fee structure that Robos can offer, but instead create a new digital experience for client relationships with a deeper personal touch. Robo-advisors do not understand the big picture, the client's future. What we want to be able to do with these tools is communicate a higher value to your clients, having advisors spending more time with their clients and not on paperwork, and aligning the client and the advisor together. These tools and approaches give advisors the ability to differentiate themselves to their end client and prospects and provide that digital experience and personal touch all at the same time. While it has been an ask of both advisors and clients for these tools, they have been cost prohibitive in the past, and the technology hasn't been there. So our ability to remove the administrative burden to advisors with these tools enable you to provide intelligent, proactive touches with your client to help them perform better. With that, I want to thank everyone for their time today, and I'd like to open up the webinar to questions from the audience, for real this time.
Thanks, Brad. This is great. Amy, do we have any questions from the audience?
We do. We have a couple that came in the queue. The first is, based on your experience, Brad, how have financial advisors adopted this new technology?
Well, unlike a lot of new technology, which feels cumbersome and forced, and a control tool that doesn't really generate results for the advisor, our approach has taught us that analytics and relationship insights offer immediate proactive returns to financial advisors. And this is actually across industries. This feature is really, really liked by end users. It reinforces the value of technology. And it really drives adoption. So we're seeing for these tools a lot of buy-in.
Well, that's a great segue to the next question, which is, how quickly can some of these tools be implemented?
Well, first of all, talking from an overall project approach, we recommend a phased approach. Introducing any new platform, technology platform, makes a major change in an advisor's day-to-day life. So even if the technology is quickly and easily deployed, we recommend a phased approach. So it's a run, walk, or a crawl, walk, run. philosophy. We preach and practice inside of our projects. Start small with a quick hit 1 to 2 month project, get advisors to see the value using a solution, and then build momentum by slowly incorporating new features. This really creates buy-in over time. People have gotten used to, in a mobile world, applications and features constantly being introduced. By replicating that type of functionality and slowly giving them new features to work with, it keeps them engaged with ownership of their CRM platform.
Okay, there's another question here. Hopefully you understand what this means. How do you meet FINRA and SEC regulatory requirements with my client's data?
Yeah, so with FINRA and SEC regulations, Microsoft takes security and compliance very seriously. They have to service clients in many industries. Microsoft has a site called Microsoft Trust Center. You can actually Google it, where you can review how Microsoft meets and exceeds all security and compliance requirements, both FINRA and SEC. Amy, can we actually send that out inside of the questions?
The link?
Yeah.
You mean? Yeah, I can try doing that. If not, you know what? We'll send it up in our follow-up email. Yeah, we'll do that. That probably makes more sense.
Sounds like a great idea.
Okay. And there's one last question, Brad, and that's, are these products bought separately? Are they part of Microsoft CRM? Can you explain how you purchase the solutions?
Yeah, so the pricing models for Dynamics 365 range based on the feature sets that you need. Many of the core tools, the relationship insights, social insights, the tools I was showing, guided processes, are all built into the core product. Machine learning is another module that you subscribe to. You basically pay for computing time. But again, these natively integrate into Dynamics CRM. Portals are an add-on, so they're basically componentized so you can buy what you need. So most of these products are set up so that based on a solution that you need, there is an appropriate price point. Tom, would you like to add any more to that?
Yeah, we can actually share with you in a follow-up how you can price this. What Microsoft is doing with the Common Data Service and the pricing is enabling customers who adopt not only CRM but also some of these solutions like Power BI by using Office 365 and the different package offerings for moving into the cloud in Office and Dynamics. And that's something where Microsoft is really differentiated because it offers that platform across the enterprise, both on the Office suite as well as the Enterprise Business Suite.
I think it also is a good time to make sure everyone understands that what was formerly known as Microsoft CRM is now known as Microsoft Dynamics 365, and it's part of that suite. I think it's important we make that distinction because some companies out there may not realize that Microsoft has renamed their solutions.
That's a great point.
Okay, that's all I see for questions in the queue.
All right, great. Well, thanks everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this webinar, and you can contact us or we'll reach out if you have any further questions. Again, this is Tom Berger. I help lead the financial services practice, and thank you to Brad for leading this great webinar, and thank you for Amy for arranging it. Thanks everybody. Have a great day.